Okay, so here we are again today. Gonna give a few minutes to let everything catch up, and I'm going to pull up some shit on Reddit. So let's see where we're at today. Hmm, what kind of stuff do we want to find? For those of you joining me today, I am Kriss with a K and three S's. I am a pre-debut VTuber, and this is my stream. Today, we are looking at Reddit. We're gonna read some stories and look at some memes and shit, and just have a good time. I am new to all this streaming shit, so I'm sorry if this sucks. If it doesn't, I hope you stick around and let's have some fun. So, let's get started. Okay. So here we are, page one. Let's see. How about we start with, am I the asshole? Let's see. Is there anything good we want to read here today? Let's get something a little less fresh. 6 days ago. Okay. Am I the asshole for waking up the whole family downstairs at 2 a.m. because they thought they could park and block my driveway overnight? I live in a duplex in New York City. We rent the downstairs. We're chill and don't mind their friends throwing parties or staying over as long as they respect the property and keep the noise down at night. But a couple of months ago, one of their guys blocked the driveway around 7 p.m. I asked him nicely to move it and not do it again, but he clearly didn't care. Fast forward to a few days ago. I get dropped off at 2 a.m. and see his car completely blocking my driveway again, even going over a bit onto the neighbor's side. I stood outside for 5 minutes debating whether to just have him ticketed and towed or wake up the whole house. I chose option 2 and blasted the doorbell for 10 seconds. This part because they do have a kid who goes to school the next day. They answered and I told her the car was blocking me and I needed to leave. It took the guy 5 minutes to come out and he was visibly pissed. He was like, "You really have to wake everyone up for that?" And I told him that he's blocking me in and I need to leave and do it again, I'll have it towed. He said, "I'll have to go pay for it." And I told him to fucking watch me. He kept cursing at me. So I said, so I said back and repeated, "That's why you're listening and moving your car right. Yeah, keep it moving, buddy." And both cars were still there. Am I the asshole? Added more details. Okay. Mod added. This post has made it to the subreddit all. Don't know what that means. But first commenter says, "Not the asshole. There's no good excuse to block you in. What if you needed to go somewhere urgently or leave early in the morning?" 2 a.m. part almost works in Opie's favor here. If it had been a normal hour, he might have had less of a case, but needing to get into your own driveway at any hour after being warned once already is completely reasonable. The guy had one rule and broke it twice. The tow truck conversation is still available whenever he wants to try a third time. Alternative Leak 1424 says, "Not the asshole. Fellow New Yorker. Fucking survival parking out here." Only Breadfruit 6108 says, "It's illegal to park across the driveway here. How else would you get them to move? It's lucky it's them. I'd be pissed being woken up, but it would be worse waking and finding my car gone." Three Blind Mice 1 says, I'm from Houston. I'd be worried about my car getting towed leaving my car in a place like that for half an hour. And we don't even have parking issues compared to a lot of places. Tow truck drivers really love to see illegal parking. Just to clarify, this was a driveway leading to a small but commonly shared parking lot. Pretty sure you could have gotten him towed, no questions asked. You did him a favor if you ask me. And John Paul Davy Jones responds, Howdy from up the road in Dallas. I thought we had problems with predatory towing until I went to Houston. Y'all's tow trucks suddenly show up at sundown like June bugs. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, this story was kind of lame. Not as interesting or fun as I thought it would be. Let's look for another one. See if we can find anything good. This one sounds kind of sus as far as relationships go. Am I the asshole for going to a job interview behind my fiance's back? Why would you need to go behind your fiance's back? What kind of bullshit's going down there? Am I the asshole for going to a job interview behind my fiance's back? I, 25 male, work in logistics and feel very burnt out. Day in and day out, I spend time on the phone with clients and truckers. I average roughly 300 to 350 phone calls a day. Oof. And by the end of the day, I'm so socially drained, I don't want to have a conversation with anyone. It's an 8 to 5 job with decent benefits and pays the bills. However, recently I was headhunted for a medical sales position doing warm inbound leads. The position is fully remote with a $20,000 pay increase and the same benefits with 2 extra personal days off. The company also supplies all of the equipment to work from home. The only issue would be my hours of work. I would have to choose between the two options: Monday to Thursday, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 9 p.m., or Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. While not the best hours, I was still thrilled about the option, as I would have less stress from work and make a good bit more. So I presented the option to my fiance, 27 female. She was not too thrilled about the position. She believed that the hours would cause problems in our relationship, as we wouldn't be spending the nights after work together and possibly lose a weekend day together. She works a standard 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I pointed out that most weekend nights we don't see each other until almost 8 p.m. anyways, as one of us normally goes to the gym after work or do something with a friend. We would still have a weekend day together, and potentially both days if I took the later time slot. I can understand her concerns, but I am also devastated as she knows I'm not happy at my current job and felt that she is lacking support for this change. After thinking it over for a while, I reached back out to the hiring manager and accepted the next round interview without telling her. Am I the asshole? I mean, this sounds really great. If you're that miserable at your job, like, why wouldn't you want to at least, like, interview for this? Even if you don't get it, like, sounds really good. And if this person is your fiance, you guys need to have more talk than just that. This could be a long-term decision. I know my partner and I have had lots of conversations about jobs, and you need to go pretty in depth about it. Okay, writing romance or male romance, maybe. Those hours are odd for a medical sales role unless you're doing the sales development. I don't see anything else that looks like it could be interesting except a deleted commented by a deleted user. Hmm. Working in a cold mind says, Not the asshole about the job, but you're the asshole for not telling your fiance. It's a job. If you do well, maybe the shifts change and you're just making more money and back to normal. Even if working odd hours for a few years isn't great, you're supposed to be sharing your life with her. Agreed. think we'll try to find one or maybe two more here and then move on to a different sub. Okay. Oh, this one is an update. So let's see if we can go back to the original and then choose what you think is best. Male 35 brother, male 33. His wife, female 30, tried to booty call one of his good friends, male 34. This could be pretty juicy. Hey everyone, I wasn't really sure if this would be a good idea, but I could really use some unbiased insight. Simply be a temporary inconvenience. Smoke my P&L, carries. So here's the deal. A couple of weeks back, I get a call from an old friend of my brother's out of the blue. For some added self is completely reasonable. 300 calls a day for less money is burnout fuel. And know his character quite well. And while he's not always been an upstanding guy, he values brutal honesty and has no reason at all to fabricate this. He explains to me that a few days back, my brother's wife, who he apparently had blocked from years earlier for a similar reason, had texted him very clearly looking for some company, if you know what I mean. There was never any overt language, but it was incredibly obvious there was a sexual desire there. Normally, this could be something that would be a little easier to swallow, but she had apparently driven to his house looking for him. Going to the interview isn't the problem. Everyone explores options. Not telling her he was going after she expressed concerns is what creates the trust issue. If he gets the job and she finds out he'd been secretly interviewing, that he explained to me that he wasn't home at the time and demanded that she leave, which she refused to do at first, but after he threatened police intervention, she relented. Okay, apparently this lady is really thirsty if he had to threaten the cops to get her to leave. Here's where things get really complicated. She has cheated on my brother before. Once, before they got married. They broke up for a short while, but eventually reconciled. I have continued to harbor reservations toward her since then, as I remember how miserable and angry my brother was during that period of time. And now perhaps better to be upfront now while it's still just an interview. Biggest complication of all. They have a child together, withholding age for privacy. So I'm asking myself why she would ever think that this would be a good idea now of all times. But I've seen the dark side of her. She's manipulative, egotistical, and narcissistic. I don't mean to use such strong words, but giving the most detail as possible in hopes I can get the best feedback. The friend has also attempted to reach out to my brother, so he can be the good questions here to tell him. But in an unrelated conversation with my brother, he alluded to the fact that he did try reaching out to him once, but hasn't heard anything since. I know this contradicts. Alternative figure 350 says, "Is this APAC?" I don't know what that is. You're not the asshole at all, but be wary of the position, what I've been told, since he's tried a few times since, which leads me to believe of the position offering is all. I'm not saying it's not a reputable company and solid package, but make sure to find out everything you can from a sales perspective. The wife is sneaking onto my brother's phone and deleting his messages in an effort to cut off contact with my brother. Now, at this point, I should probably wrap this up so I don't lose anyone's interest. In my opinion, my brother deserves to know the truth because this is his life and his family on the line. I know that I'll never be able to look at his wife with the same either way. My wife, who is the only other person who knows, since she was with me when the friend called to tell me, also believes he should know the truth. But if I tell him, I'll be a homewrecker and start an incredible amount of drama within my family. I'd also be fracturing the relationship between my nephew's mother and father, and he doesn't deserve to experience that. He didn't ask for any of this. But if I will tell this, I'd have to spend the rest of my life with a horrible secret and a terrible burden with terrible guilt of not being honest with my brother. So Reddit, I could use some outside opinions. Would I be the asshole for exposing my brother's wife's attempted infidelity? Edit because I forgot derp. Yes, I do have receipts of the event. The friend sent screenshots of the messages the wife sent to him. Well, let's look at a few comments and then we'll get to the update. Fragrant Spray says, "What's the argument against telling him again? It sounds like you're afraid to tell him because you don't want to get blamed for informing him of what his wife is doing and take the blame for her decisions. Why would that happen? Anyone who blames you for his wife getting caught is an idiot, and you should neither care about their opinions or listen to their criticism. Keep in mind, your brother sounds like quite the doormat, so don't be surprised if you tell him and he does nothing about it, but that's on him, not the asshole." OP says, "You honestly kind of hit the nail on the head here. Yes, my brother is a bit of a doormat and can be quite apathetic. I don't mean to demean him like that, but it is the truth. And yes, as crazy as it sounds, I do feel an incredible amount of guilt. My brother and I haven't always been on the best of terms, and am now keep it from fracturing, and I'm worried this would undo all of that." Certain Thought 531 says, "Not the asshole. You have to tell him and you know it. You said she cheated once before marriage. I doubt it was only one time, given how easily she went after his friend. I'd say it was most likely the one time you found out. For the sake of the child and your brother, the truth has to come out. The earlier, the better." Edit to add, "You wouldn't be the homewrecker. She is." A Traditional Tank 3994 says, "That's right, OP. And if your brother finds out, then discovers that you knew and didn't tell him, won't he feel doubly betrayed? He deserves to know." Let's see if we have any more in here that OP responds to. Nope, I don't see anything yet. So let's move on to the update from 8 hours ago. Update. Would I be the asshole for telling my male 35 brother, male 33, his wife, female 30, tried to booty call one of his good friends, male 34? He ended up leaving the house for a few hours to cool off and process everything. I'm not really sure what he's going to do. He's afraid of divorce due to having a child with her, owning a home, and the price of an attorney. It does seem like he knows that this is inevitably going to end, but I'm not sure right now if he'll have the courage and self-belief to go through with it. Not sure I'm going to give any more updates, since who knows how long this will go on for, but please keep him and his son in your thoughts. Let's hope for the best. Thanks for reading and being my unbiased third party." Well, that seems kind of anticlimactic. Okay, OBS just told me that it disconnected, so I am waiting for it to reconnect. Yay, OBS reconnected. Cool. Well, not everything in life is super climactic. That's why things are often boring. Let's see if we have any interesting comments or if OP gives us anything else in them. Let's see, around in circles. The one thing I've learned from Reddit that in any situation like this, the number one thing you should do before confronting your spouse when cheating is to contact a lawyer first. Make sure any and everything you do does not hurt you, and that you're able to protect assets and have a good approach to conflict. Intel Courier says, "Excellent advice. OP, be there for your brother as this may get nasty. A wife who would do this is not someone with a high level of integrity or a close association with the truth." OP needs to get checked for an STD. This may not be the cheater's only outreach. Yep, a lot of kind of similar stuff. Let's see. And nothing else loading. Well, close that out. And I'm going to go ahead and call for a bio break. So if you need to, go to the bathroom. I'm going to have something to drink. So take a drink of water or whatever your liquid of choice is. I currently have a sweet tea and I'm going to have some of that. I'm also going to mute myself so you don't have to listen to my disgusting drinking sounds. Hydration. Okay. So, me in real life. I am yet again asking the Olympics to simply let a regular, non-athlete person do the event first so I can understand how good these people are. I totally agree, especially since there's like a huge population of people who think that they can do lottery or a close association with the truth. OP needs to get checked for an STD. This may not be the cheater's only outreach. Yep, a lot of kind of similar stuff. A lot of us are couch athletes. I will sit on my couch and watch you do shit. That's about what I got. My dad seriously sent this to our family group chat. I'm crying. I can't keep up with the pressure of always having to lol or like or heart everyone's random thoughts, pics, and amusements. For all future texts, I love them, laugh at them, or like them unless it's bad, then I dislike them. In perpetuity. I can't live with this pressure. I'm out. Yeah, sometimes it feels like that. If a beautiful woman disagrees with me, I will immediately change my views. I have no principles. Well, maybe you should have principles. You're right. Maybe I should. Please drop your resume in resume box. I feel like that's very true and valid today. Especially if you want to go in person to try to get a job somewhere. Places often don't take actual physical resumes. And apparently my internet wants to tell me to fuck off. I am done with Am I the Asshole for today. This one has a bunch of videos, so that's probably what's killing me. OBS disconnected again. Okay, OBS is back. Yay. Yeah, if we get disconnected again, I'm just gonna call it for the day. How much? 70K. But you wrote 30K there? So you saw it? Yeah, like why are you asking if the price is right there? And you obviously saw it. So 2 weeks ago, a friend was telling me about how they were sad because they hosted a cookout, invited all their friends, but no one came. And I just had to sit there and smile and nod as they sadly told me about this cookout that incidentally they did not invite me to. Yeah, I kind of feel like I was that friend. There's a kid on my nephew's soccer team that thinks he's a dinosaur, so he's just out there screeching and biting other kids on the field. I love my nephew, but I'm only here to watch Velociraptor. That does sound a lot more interesting. I knocked over a plant in the kitchen, but my cat saw me, so I had to spray myself with water so I could show that the law applies to everyone. Ah, fuck. That reminds me, I need to water my plants. I'm not a good plant parent. I don't do the plant thing. But somehow I have catnip that is like growing very, very large and like taking over my kitchen window, even though it's only in a reuse. There's like a huge population of people who think that they can do a lot of things that athletes do, and they would just like totally kill it. Nah, a lot of us are couch athletes. I will sit on my couch and watch you do shit. That's about what I got. My dad seriously sent this to our family group chat. I'm crying. I can't keep up with the pressure of always having to lol or like or heart everyone's random thoughts, pics, and amusements. For all future texts, I love them, laugh at them, or like them unless it's bad, then I dislike them. In perpetuity. I can't live with this pressure. I'm out. Yeah, sometimes it feels like that. If a beautiful woman disagrees with me, I will immediately change my views. I have no principles. Well, maybe you should have principles. You're right. Maybe I should. Please drop your resume in resume box. I feel like that's very true and valid today, especially if you want to go in person to try to get a job somewhere. Places often don't take actual physical resumes. And apparently, my internet wants to tell me to fuck off. I am done with Am I the Asshole for today. Uh, hmm. This one has a bunch of videos, so that's probably what's killing me. OBS. That's pretty nice. It's nice when other people pay for your plane tickets somewhere. Brian Tucker, Florida man, 45, arrested after building a full tiki bar in the middle of a Walmart parking lot and serving drinks to shoppers for 3 hours before police arrived. I mean, can you blame him? That sounds pretty cool. I doubt he had his liquor license or any license to actually sell there or on Walmart property, but yeah, that's kind of cool. I could really see myself living here. Me in the most expensive neighborhood of every city I'm visiting. Well, yeah. Okay, OBS is back. Yay. Yeah, if we get disconnected again, I'm just gonna call it for the day. Uh, how much? 70K. But you wrote 30K there? So you saw it? Yeah, like why are you asking if the price is right there? And you obviously saw it. So 2 weeks ago, a friend was telling me about how they were sad because they hosted a cookout, invited all their friends, but no one came. And I just had to sit there and smile and nod as they sadly told me about this cookout that incidentally they did not invite me to. Yeah, I kind of feel like I was that friend. There's a kid on my nephew's soccer team that thinks he's a dinosaur, so he's just out there screeching and biting other kids on the field. I love my nephew, but I'm only here to watch Velociraptor. That does sound a lot more interesting. I knocked over a plant in the kitchen, but my cat saw me, so I had to spray myself with water so I could show that the law applies to everyone. Ah, fuck. That reminds me, I need to water my plants. I'm not a good plant parent. I don't do the plant thing. But somehow I have catnip that is like growing very, very large and like taking over my kitchen window, even though it's only in a reused bottle of water. It's flowering. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I want to be rich enough to own ornamental cattle. People will ask me if my cows are for meat or milk, and I will say, no, they are for display. These are display cows. How fancy. Brain scans have revealed children living with unstable families, excessive arguing, abuse, and neglectful, have brain changes similar to combat soldiers after active duty. See, I was in the trenches. Yep, it's still trauma. It changes the way your brain works. If you want to see how trauma affects the way your brain works and how things work in your life, you can also take the Adverse Childhood Experiences or ACEs exam. And I think there's like 14 or 20 questions or something on there. And the more points you have, the more likely you are to have multiple mental health issues, substance abuse issues, and physical health issues in your life. And yeah, that's basically what this image is saying. Yeah, shit that happens to you as a kid, it will really fuck you up. Why don't grocery stores participate in Black Friday? I don't need 20% off a flat screen. Give me half price Tide Pods and $1 coffee creamers, and then you better believe I'll be at the doors at 3 a.m. Seriously. Fuck, give me like 30% off at Costco. I will definitely be there at 3 a.m. Damn, they just opened Costco like earlier on Black Friday. I will be there. Costco is like the most fucking laid back job. Oh, we don't open until 10 a.m. Costco hours are like the hours I think people should be working. Like, you don't have to be anywhere until at least 10 a.m. And then you are home in time to like have a decent bedtime, eat by 9, just like chill out and fall asleep on your couch, and you're good. I have a cold and it's pretty bad, but my wife has a husband with a cold, and apparently that's way worse. Yeah, YouTube. And you can also find me on Twitter, also known as X.